Joining me now is Amber Athey, Washington editor at The Spectator. Amber, welcome back. Always great to see you. As we just heard, President Biden is casting the blame on major meat processing companies for the current high prices. I know that you've reported on the monopolies in the meat industry before. Do you think President Biden is right? Do you think it's their fault? And do you think his plan will work to help bring down those prices and also help smaller farmers in the process?
Well, I think that Joe Biden is correct in the sense that the meat industry is very monopolistic. There are just a few major producers that own the vast majority of production facilities. And so if just one plant goes down in the United States, that causes a huge backlog and doesn't lead to increased prices for consumers. However, he's wrong to blame our current inflationary pressures solely on the meat industry. It's a very myopic view of what's actually happening in our economy right now, and merely throwing $1 billion at the problem isn't going to solve the core issue. He's done nothing to address the fact that one of the major problems with those large meat processing organizations or companies is that they are foreign-owned and corrupt. Smithfield recently was acquired by a Chinese firm, and we've already seen the litany of issues that comes with Chinese ownership of the American supply chains. And there's another corporation called JBS that was previously owned by the Bautista brothers, which are a Brazilian family that has been accused of insider trading, but for some reason was given a reduced fine by the United States government when they were found of all these corrupt business practices. So if Biden is merely going to offer $1 billion, but not actually investigate or look into the core reasons why these large meat processing centers are so corrupt and are not being owned on American soil, then he's really not addressing the root of the problem.
Yeah, and also problems with a surge in COVID cases over the holidays. And as Owen reported, only about 14 reporters now be allowed into the White House press briefing room because of that. I want to get your thoughts on that.
Well, it's really unfortunate that the White House Correspondents Association has chosen to move forward this way, considering the fact that 99% of the White House press corps is vaccinated. So even if they do happen to catch a case of the Omicron variant, the likelihood of them facing severe side effects is very, very minimal. And then there's the point that when we had to go to a reduced capacity in the White House earlier in the pandemic, the WHCA made sure to allow all outlets to be represented by having rotating seats for smaller, more independent outlets. That capacity has now been greatly reduced to the point that many outlets are not given a seat at all. And so you're going to see fewer challenging questions, fewer conservative, right-leaning, or independent outlets in that briefing room, which is a real blow to the ability to question this administration and hold them accountable.
Yeah, that is an issue for sure. Another thing I want to talk about, Amber, is how COVID is actually getting people banned from social media, including Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, the first member of Congress ever to be permanently banned from Twitter. But she's not the only one. Dr. Robert Malone, who's considered the inventor of mRNA technology, he was also banned from Twitter, as well as YouTube for an interview that he did. Help us understand this. I mean, what is happening here?
Well, it surely seems like the social media companies are all in on censoring anyone who questions the prevailing narrative about COVID-19 and the vaccines. And Twitter has come out and said that if you say something as simple as people who are vaccinated can still spread the virus, then your account will be suspended. That is an incontrovertible fact that people who get the vaccine can still catch and spread the virus. So they are actively peddling misinformation while claiming to be cracking down on misinformation. It's completely backwards, and it just goes to show that they are more interested in pushing a left-wing ideology than they are in allowing people to share information or even the truth.
Yeah, and as you said, these bans are happening sort of in the name of stopping what they say is so-called misinformation. But the question really is who is determining that? Facebook recently admitted as part of a lawsuit that its fact checkers really just offer opinions. So can you break that down for us, Amber?
Yeah, it's a great point. A lot of these fact checkers who conduct these fact checks on behalf of social media companies are merely just reporters who work for various outlets. In some cases, they work for Reuters, for example, who is a fact-checking partner, yet the head of Reuters is affiliated with the Pfizer company. So to say that they are somehow unbiased arbiters of truth is absolutely ridiculous. And we see this trend where people say, well, all of the scientists agree, but then they go and they ban and censor any scientists that disagree. So, of course, everyone that we're hearing from agrees about certain facts because people who have a differing opinion are not even allowed to have their voices heard. So this is all about reinforcing an ideological echo chamber, and it's done in concert with the government, with social media companies, and with big media.
Oh, Amber, so great to talk with you. Unfortunately, we have to leave it right there, but thanks for checking in with us.
Thank you.